ghost tour. So, I'm just going to be sharing a few stories with you that we were told while on the ghost tour. Unfortunately, I didn't really experience too much myself, but I found that some of the stories were very creepy, to say the least. But one of the things that I did experience was we were approaching a very old house, and our tour guide said some people's phones or cameras tend to die around this house, and it apparently doesn't like to be photographed. I wasn't sure what he meant by that, but then I realized that when I looked down at my phone, it was saying that there was 20% battery left when I had looked at it a couple of minutes before and the battery was nearly fully charged. Then, when I took 3 pictures of the house, the first one, the screen was completely white, and then the other pictures, the screen was completely black. So then I understood what our tour guide meant by the house doesn't like to be photographed. So, another house that we passed by, there was a girl who was about 12, which was the minimum age to be on the tour. It was 12 and up. And the little girl said that she saw an old woman's face in the window of the home. And our tour guide said, well, nobody's in the house now, at least not that we know of. No one lives in there, it's just part of the tour. And she said, she kept insisting, yes, but I saw a face in the window. And she seemed really upset by it. And the rest of us didn't see anything. When we took pictures of the windows as well, we couldn't see anything in the windows. But I've mentioned in previous videos that I believe that children are more sensitive to the paranormal. So, maybe she really did see something. Or she could have been making it up, but she seemed pretty upset. So, I think either she saw something or maybe got herself a little upset and thought that she saw something. But either way, it was still kind of a creepy moment for all of us. There was also a little hotel nearby where there was supposedly a murder that had taken place, and many people who stayed there overnight said that they often awoke to the sound of a woman crying in their room, and when they turned the light on, the crying stopped. There was another house on the tour where most of the house was rebuilt because it had been destroyed in a fire. When the kitchen caught on fire and it spread to the rest of the house, and one African American man didn't make it out of the house on time, and he perished in the fire. Well, the current owners of the house had said that they woke up one night and they said that they saw an African American man standing at the end of their bed, and he looked like he had burns on his face. But when they turned the light on, there was no one there. Another place that we passed by was a very, very old hotel, and the manager of the hotel said that there is a certain such horrible experiences in that room. One woman who visited claimed that when the bellhop was carrying her bags in for her, he wouldn't enter fully into the room. He basically pushed her luggage into the room and then stood in the doorway. And he said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I just can't go in that room." And she thought that that was very strange behavior and kind of rude, but that night she understood why. She said that she woke up feeling like someone was choking her. Then she was able to get back to sleep. I don't know how, because honestly that would have been it for me. I would have just left. But she said that when she got back to sleep, she had a dream that someone was braiding her hair. And when she woke up, she realized that her hair had been braided to the headboard. On another part of the ghost tour, we visited a recreation of a colonial home. And they said that every night there's a security guard stationed outside the colonial home because many of the things in it are actual archaeological finds, and it's quite valuable, and they want to make sure that no one steals anything, obviously. So one night there was the security guard there by himself, and he called in for help, saying that something or someone was in the house and he needed backup. And they found him on the floor shaking, saying that something was trying to attack him. And there was no sign of forced entry into the home, and no one other than himself was found there. So, but he claims that there was some sort of an attacker that he couldn't see. And he quit his job that night, saying that he could never go back there. And ever since then, they won't let any guard in there by themselves. Every night they have to have at least 2 security guards there. They won't just let one there anymore because of what had happened to that one guard. That's very frightening to me, because he claimed that he was hurt very badly, and yet they couldn't find anyone in the home. I wonder if he really was attacked by a person, or if it really was some sort of an aggressive spirit. I really don't know. Another really strange thing that our tour guide told us was that during another tour there, through that same colonial home recreation, someone recorded a video of the entire tour, and she claimed that when she played it back, she heard the voice of a woman speaking in German continuously throughout the tour, but there was no one in that group speaking anything other than English. So what exactly was she picking up on? That one really gave me chills when he told us that. Now, this last story actually happened during the time that I was on the ghost tour. As we were walking through the colonial home recreation, someone in our group started panicking a little bit, to the point where the tour guide actually stopped the tour and asked what was wrong. And the lady said the shelf had moved. There was an antique doll on display, and she said that she looked at it and it was on one side of the shelf, and when she looked at it again, it was on the other side of the shelf.